Welcome back, my loves. I am so excited to introduce you to one of my favorite people. Erin, you are just such a magical, beautiful woman. Inside and out, you ooze this like feminine grace in the way you show up, in the way you present yourself, in the way you show up as a friend. You are just so supportive and loving. And every time I turn to you for advice, I know I'm just going to get this like warm hug of an embrace. No matter what I share with you, I can trust that your guidance is going to be rooted in loving self-love, right? And you always naturally bring me back to self-love. So it's so automatic and obvious that you would be working and supporting your clients in self-love because that's what you do.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much. I just want to say equally as a friend that you meet me there and you inspire me and call me forth to be my best self because you're such an amazing, powerful, loving woman yourself. So I'm glad we found each other and get to be that for each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I started naturally shouting from the rooftops about self-love among my friend group. I was just so excited about how it had transformed my life, and I wanted to share it with people. And that did eventually, little by little, lead to me wanting to share it also outside of my friend group more widely. And so that's the adventure that I've embarked on now.
Yeah, I get it. It's so funny because I've been working on this like personal development. I've been living in the self-help section of library since I was in my teens. And if I really look back at it, the whole mission is to get back to self-love. How do I love myself more? Because we've been conditioned and domesticated, if you will, out of our true essence and our true nature has been shunned or shamed or right. And so we're detached in a way through conditioning from who we innately are and how we want to show up in the world. And so we've been taught to not love the parts of ourselves, even the angry part of ourselves or the sad part, like stop crying is what I was always told, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't no fault or shame to my mother. She was doing the best she could, but she wasn't taught how to navigate emotions. And so when mine came up, it was like, stop crying or I'll give you a reason to cry. And I was always like,
Yeah, it gets passed on.
yeah,
Unfortunately, there's the collective consciousness is being raised and evolving, and we get to be part of that and then pass on new things, both to reparent ourselves and to those around us. But I thought I loved myself because there are parts of myself that are very lovable, get a lot of validation, and I was like, yeah, I love myself. I loved those parts of myself.
right.
There's so many parts of myself that I wasn't loving, and it's not easy and it's a little bit scary, but it's also so, so liberating once you do that.
Yeah.
But I also didn't even relate to the word self-love initially. I didn't know that's what I was looking for. I was just looking for feeling different. Like I was just feeling dull and worn out and kind of invisible and like not being appreciated for what I thought. Like I was trying so hard to please people and to make people happy and to get affirmation and validation. And it just was like trying to fill a leaky bucket. Like it was never, it just nothing, it was never enough. And like that became exhausting. And so I started doing self healing, self help, development work, and all this stuff. And then eventually, looking back, I realized, oh, this has all been about self love. And then I decided to claim that word because it really resonated with that hindsight. And because I think it's a very misunderstood word and kind of people like it's a little cringe to some people and people like kind of dilute it. And I was like, actually, it's everything.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I made the decision to just claim the word self-love and like that's what it is all about. And show though that it's not just fluffy. Like love is a verb.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice you make every day.
Right.
And it's actions and behaviors in the world, in the way you express yourself, in the way you interact with people. And it really can then change your entire reality by making new choices that are self-loving and helps you love other people better too.
Yeah. It's coming to mind a simple act and also a point to notice is like when you look in the mirror, when I looked in the mirror, what I saw was dimples on my ass,
Mm.
right? Like, and I go right to the flaw, like hone in on that one thing instead of seeing this great butt that I got. And the dimple, yeah, and I go right to it. And what I strongly believe is that's literally sending an energetic dagger to your energy body of like, not good enough, right? And you're stabbing. I was stabbing myself every time I looked in the mirror. And that creates dis-ease in the body. And that's why I think this is such an important part of the conscious cleanse as well, is like looking at how we're treating ourselves, because that is literally creating dis-ease or ease in your body. And so valuable and so important to start with the mirror work. Like even the exercise of like, I love you 10 times in the morning, looking into your eyes. I love you. I love you. I love you 10 times first thing in the morning. How have you ever done that? It's wild when you do.
A lot of resistance comes up.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like a simple thing to do, and it's actually very, very confronting.
Yeah, because you're going to go, yeah, but I don't like that. And no. I love you. You got 8 more. And you had to really hone in on that, what you love.
Yeah, I agree that it is, it's a practice to rewrite the way you talk to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, I want to go back to, we hone in on the negative, and it is it's probably biological and cultural. But studies show in social sciences that the brain receives one negative comment with 5 times the weight of a positive comment.
Wow.
So if you want to be really rational and like an engineer about it, like you need to have like 5 or 6 positive things said to you by yourself or by others to feel the same as one negative comment.
Wow.
Yes. So
you hear that, Mama? I need 5 positive things.
Yeah.
For every 1 negative.
Yes.
I get 5 negative things for every 1 positive. Is what it feels like. But it might be because my brain's actually tuning to the negative 5 times harder is what you're hearing.
Yeah, because 1 on 1 is going to feel like 5 on 1 if it's the negative. And my background, before I started doing this self-love and empowerment coaching, my background is in corporate coaching.
Yeah.
Leadership, communication, and motivation. So this is one thing we also teach to our corporate clients and managers and leaders, to your team.
Nice.
You need to be aware of this because this is like a scientifically proven phenomenon.
Yep.
And if you can choose to ignore it, because a lot of leaders are like, well, why should I have to give them 6 compliments? Like, you don't have to, but we're just telling you, you're going to get a lot better response if you use this information. And, don't invent positive things, but there are positive things. You just need to express them.
You're tapping on something that's very powerful because my mom and I lead in very different ways, right? She leads with an iron fist, that old way of like, you don't give them compliments because you're going to ruin the employees. And I'm like, no, the opposite. Like the more I shower my employees with compliments, the more they're like, I want to do everything for you to support this business. They literally, that's the feedback I get.
Yeah, yes, it's much, much more motivating.
It's motivating. We don't just work for a paycheck.
Yes. We work for the feeling that we get.
The feeling that we get to when we go to work and we're contributing to something that we're growing together. That's what creates a beautiful synergy. And it's literally infused into our food.
Yeah.
Right? We're like feeding people something that's made with love. Yeah. Very different than like, you're here, you better earn the money you're making.
Yes. And a very different vibration in that food.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's a much more effective leadership approach. And it's a much more effective way to bring out your best self if you choose to speak to yourself with that same wisdom that, yes, there's a tuning in the human mind. Like we are looking for danger and that kind of thing to protect ourselves. So we do tune to the negative out of protection.
Right.
And we get to then realize, okay, I don't need to do that. I am safe. And actually I can name and own and claim and celebrate all the good things about my body, like the way these feet have taken me so many miles into so many beautiful parts of this planet and to parties with friends, and my arms have hugged people, and all the wonderful things that our body does for us, the experiences that it allows us to have.
Right.
And celebrate and appreciate that and just give thanks for this vessel that we're blessed with.
Yeah. Yeah, and give that go a little deeper with when it comes to someone that's actually in a leadership position that's maybe struggling with like giving 6 compliments. Like it sounds so simple, but help them navigate that.
Well, I think the thing is they feel sometimes like either they shouldn't have to or that it's fake. And so I like to address both of those.
Yeah.
One, again, like no, you don't have to. I'm not here to tell you you have to, but if you want different results, I'm giving you this information that will help you get better results from your team. Like they are much more motivated, engaged. They want to make those things true. That if you give them compliments, they are like, okay, I want to live up to that reputation that you're giving me. So I'm never here to tell you you have to, but if you're looking for new results, try something new and different and then see if it works for you. And the other thing is, it's not insincere or fake because we are tuned to negative. Sometimes we just think there are no positives, but that's just mental hygiene. Like you get to now start being more conscious of your own mental filter. If you're a leader and you're only seeing the negatives, is that really true? And generally it's not, because I mean, the business is still running. It's not falling apart. It's not on fire. Like,
Yeah.
so a lot of things have had to go right for that to be true.
Yeah. So are you, would they then identify the person's like effectiveness, or like, are there certain things that the leader can identify that will really land for the person, like character based?
Well, so you want to praise the behaviors that you want to see more of.
Right.
So you can come at it from that point of view. Or, yeah, you can try to get to know the people on your team as real human beings and understand like different people are motivated by different things.
Right.
There's 3 big ones that are autonomy, belonging, and competence. And usually we're all motivated by all 3, and we're most motivated by the one that's most absent or lacking. So if you've been like really, really controlling and they have no autonomy, you can praise them for when they've taken initiative and like done something independent without you having to spell it out for them. Right. You want to see more of that.
Yes.
In them.
Love that.
Or if like you talked about the members of your team who are here in the kitchen preparing the food, and they feel like part of a mission, like we're spreading health and vitality here in the community with our customers. And if that mission for them is very motivating, then you want to praise them on that kind of thing.
Beautiful. Love that. What's the third?
Competence.
Yes.
So people want to acquire new competence, and they also want to be able to display it in front of people who they respect.
Right.
And a classic example is kids at school when they get to draw something, and then when they get home, they're like, "Look, Mom, Dad, like look at my drawing, like put it on the fridge, like I'm so proud."
Yeah.
And you want to display to your caregivers, your parents, when you're a kid, but we're the same.
Yeah.
As adults, so we want to learn and grow and like develop new skills that we're proud of, but we also want to be able to show them to people. So you can like feature people in your team who have acquired new skills, or you can get them to mentor people who are newer. That's another way they can display their competence and feel proud, feel recognized by you, and also they get to share that. So that's the way competence.
Oh, I love that.
Motivating.
I like that. Teach a newbie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that is empowering.
And for some people, that's extremely motivating.
It's so funny. I'm driven by the first one because I drive my staff to like be empowered on their own. Like always, I'm like, thank you for taking that initiative. I love that I don't have to ride you for anything. Like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Because I want to empower. That's the whole, my opinion of a leader. Like, it's to put people in the positions that they're good at, and then give them the power to actually do that job really well.
Yes. Yes. Tell them what you need, but leave the how into them.
Exactly. And then personally, I'm empowered by the approval. Like, look at me, look what I did, and you're like, oh, what a girl it is. I want that external validation. Yeah, too, like a little 47-year-old woman. It's so funny. And yeah, and I don't even remember the second one because belonging. So that's so innate to me. I don't need it.
Yeah, maybe so. Right, maybe so.
Wild.
But I know about you that autonomy is very important. I remember one time we were together and there was a question about the job. I can't remember the job that it would be perfect for you, and you're like, no, I got to have my own business. Yep. I'm very independent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like, to you, at least based on that conversation, I associate that with you as autonomy being a core value for you.
Yeah, I value that. I want the trust. I want the assignment with the trust that I can accomplish it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then leave me alone. It's don't want micromanaging.
Yeah.
And that's how I treat my people, because I want that.
So yeah, then that spaciousness, to really grow and take ownership.
Yeah, but as a leader, it's important for me to not just operate how I want, right?
Exactly.
You got to find out what motivates your people.
Exactly. And so those are 3 just broad categories, but that gives you a starting place to kind of see which one is most important to them, in either just in general or in that moment. Like for me, it's belonging and competence. Those are my 2 favorite. But I do know if I'm under someone's thumb, and I don't have autonomy, I don't like that either.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just the one that's most missing that the person is craving.
Yeah.
If they have 2 out of 3, they want that third one because they're all very important.
Love it. Oh, I love that. Okay, I want to make the link between self-love and empowerment because you support your clients in doing this.
Yes.
And what does that mean to you? How is self-love actually the most empowering thing you can do?
Absolutely. So yeah, I claim this word self-love, and with the knowledge that some people are like, nah, that's just fluffy. There's nothing there. And so I was like, I can see why they think that. And so how can I address that? Because I don't agree.
Right.
That's not been my experience. And so for me, it was like, once you start to have self-love, there's a few things that self-love means to me. One, it means expressing yourself, expressing your feelings, also though your needs and your desires, and making requests of people. Also expressing your boundaries, like this is just not aligned for me, or that's not going to work for me. So expressing yourself is very empowering because you're not making people read your mind. You are advocating for yourself. And then the beautiful thing is you get new data, because before, earlier in my journey, I didn't express myself because I had stories and I had fear. I had fear that if I made this request or had this boundary that I would be rejected or abandoned or something like that.
Right.
And so empowerment, in the way I help my clients, is I challenge them lovingly to make new choices, micro, small, low risk choices, but they feel high risk because of that story that you have.
Yeah.
But in small ways, start to express yourself and see if that story was true. And like 99.9% of the time, it's not true. You don't get rejected or abandoned.
Right.
And so you get to rewrite that fear. And that's empowerment. That's empowerment.
One of the things I teach in the Conscious Cleanse is tuning in and asking your body for a yes, right? That is the key. And we outsource all of our wisdom, like even to doctors, or right? It's like, don't take my advice. Tune into your body. Is this right for me? Like that sentence, this is not medical advice. Don't take my advice. Don't take any of my advice. I want you to tune in. Is this right for me? And the way to do that is you take deep breaths and you tune into your torso, especially like kind of your stomach area. And you can say like, okay, is this coffee good for me? And you'll get a very clear yes or no. A yes feels light and airy. A no is generally crunchy, kind of like you had a poop or something. Like it just feels like dense energy almost. And you can play with this, play with different things that you know are good or bad for your body, right? And see. And so you start to get really aware of what your body's signals.
Yes.
Because yes or no might be different for different people.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right.
And then tune in with every decision. I had a client last week that came in and that was her assignment for the week because she's super heady, super logical. Everything's got to be a logical based decision, right?
Yeah.
As your job literally is to tune in.
Yes.
And she got put through the ringer with breast cancer, which I don't actually think she had.
Oh my gosh.
Side note, but she went through chemo, radiation, all these torturous things. And I strongly believe she didn't tune into her body. And had she, and that was the whole journey, that was the purpose of it. Learn how to tune into your body, because she came out going, yeah, I didn't, that wasn't right.
Yeah.
That wasn't right. It wasn't right for me, but I didn't listen to my body. I outsourced.
She got the diagnosis and like that was
we lined it up.
experts, and you're in the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not medical advice, right? Do what you feels right for you.
Right.
But tune in. If you're getting a no in your body, it's if you really love yourself, right? You'll actually honor that.
Right.
And you'll speak your truth.
Exactly.
That's an empowered human that loves themselves.
Right. And if you've done that and built that muscle and that self-trust with these like micro things and just learning to express yourself in the day-to-day, then when the big high stakes things happen, you are more prepared and more resourced for that. But yes, definitely, I trust my inner knowing is one of the mantras that I work with and that I gift to the people that I work with. But the way you learn to trust your inner knowing is by taking small risks and like expressing yourself and seeing how that works, and then learning, what are the yeses and the nos in my body by pushing those edges gently.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love that.
And also when you express yourself, and people don't have to read your mind, first of all, and then so many times people actually want to fulfill your need or your request, and like you've helped them by making it very clear what it is, and they're like, I'm happy to do that, that's wonderful. And it's like, whoa, really? I had this power all this time and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Then on the other hand, sometimes it's like, well, they're not really a full yes to whatever you said, but there can be a negotiation. They're like, well, I can't do that, but I can do this. And then that's a beautiful co-creation with that person. And then sometimes they're like, no, like your boundary is not good for me, like, I don't agree with it or whatever. And or there could, worst case scenario, my fears that I have, there could be rejection or abandonment potentially, right? And that's not ever easy, but that's also good information. If that person doesn't respect your boundaries or they're not aligned with it for whatever reason, so it is a little bit painful, but I know from experience, I think other people maybe have too. You push the can down the road, you keep pushing down your boundaries just to get along and go along, but eventually there's a rupture.
Right.
Maybe a year or 2 years later, but that's just, in a sense, wasted energy when you weren't being true to yourself, and then when you finally are, the rupture happens later instead of now.
Yeah. And it happens in some other way because you've built up all this resentment over something they haven't expressed yourself on. And then all of a sudden the tea isn't hot enough and you're like exploding.
So do you want to say, yeah, that's not fair to yourself, but neither to the other person, because they maybe thought you were fine with whatever the context was, if you didn't speak up. So I really encourage people to just speak up now and like not be extremely attached to the response that you get. Just take it all as information.
And also very important is how you express yourself.
Yes.
So there isn't an attack. This isn't you did this and that. My trick now is I am noticing. When I experience you do this, I am noticing that I'm creating a story that you don't care about me, right?
Yes.
And so I'm inviting the other person in to help me navigate what's coming up versus attacking. And this actually came to me from this couple that I admire so much, Gerald and Maya Rose. They have been together for, I think, over a decade. And every year they get married, right? They're one of those couples that are just like stupid in love still. In a beautiful way. I love it. And I was like, all right, Gerald, tell me what the secret is. Like, give me the juju. He goes, okay, well, Maya Rose, when she is in a disagreement with me or something that I'm doing, let's just use something like taking out the trash. I haven't taken out the trash and she's upset about it. Instead of coming to me and being like, you didn't take out the trash again, which feels very attacky.
Yeah.
And I can't get anything right as it triggers all the childhood wounds. She instead comes to me with, so when you don't take out the trash, Gerald, I don't feel like a queen in my home. And I feel like you're not honoring me. And I feel like I have to do all these extra things. And I'm noticing that I'm creating a story that you don't honor me. Is that, so I can you help me navigate something is how she starts the conversation.
Beautiful.
She invites him in to be this like support system. And now they're navigating it together. And now he's so much more inspired to take out the trash.
Yes. All of a sudden you two are on the same team,
Right.
trying to resolve, a situation.
Yep.
Instead of we're on opposite teams and one of us is going to be right and one of us is going to be wrong.
I literally had this example of the perfect example of a client the other day. She kind of was ghosting. She wasn't replying, right? And she just she was supposed to tune in, check in, and I checked in. She didn't answer. I checked in again, didn't answer, and I was like, okay. So I just sent her a text message and I said, I'm noticing that you're not replying to my messages. And I'm starting to create a story that you're avoiding me. That's all I said. And she right away called me and goes, oh, no. Don't go down that track. That it's not what it is. But she's like, I have had a hell of a week at work. She gave me the whole explanation. She's like, I should have replied. And so I own that. And thank you for bringing, acknowledge.
But it wasn't avoidance.
It wasn't avoidance. And just by me calling that out, I am creating a story about what is happening.
Right.
Because that's what we do. We fill in the blank
We are
information.
story-making creatures.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when there's missing information, our brains are designed to like, oh, well, what can we fit in there? That makes a perfectly normal story based on our past traumas. I am being abandoned.
That's beautiful. And so you reached out to her. You didn't accuse.
Right.
Yes. And you invited.
And right away I get the response I want
Yeah.
by inviting the person into navigating what's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. And you didn't avoid or shut down either.
No.
You initiated.
Right. And it's the hack is really identifying the story.
Mm-hmm.
So the reality is she's not replying or she didn't answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Fact.
Right.
She didn't answer the phone. No emotion around that fact.
There could be many reasons behind that.
Right. I always say we create our own suffering because of these stories.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she's avoiding me is now a story I've created that then creates suffering in my body. Like she doesn't value my wisdom. She's not answering the call because she doesn't want, like, I can go down a rabbit hole of that story
Yeah.
if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
None of it's true.
Right. And it's interesting. The story in this example is very self-referential. It's all about me, me, me. The reason why she's not responding, it must have something to do with me.
Yeah.
And in this case, it had nothing to do with you. It had to do with like what she was dealing with in her world and her work and her demands and her bandwidth at that time. And she was probably just taking care of herself.
Yeah.
And then like you get to learn that it really, we think everything is about us. And it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is part of the suffering that we get to alleviate for ourselves when we start making those shifts and start identifying the stories, right? And that lead to the suffering.
Yeah.
Separate and then get back to a place of self-love. Like, what do I need in this moment? I need to express my truth.
Yes.
So like, this behavior isn't working for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that my offering, the way I approach self-love, and so the people who I think resonate with me have this in common, is I am a very word-oriented. I really believe in the power of words, especially the words that we use to speak to ourselves every day. But I really like to think about it as like words are literally magic spells that we use every day to create our reality.
Yeah.
Like they are that powerful.
Yeah.
It's just we don't see that they are like magic, like spells. And so people who want to work with me, I think, resonate with the power of words.
Yeah.
And then the science is that actually we humans have like thousands of thoughts every day, right? So many thoughts that are not, most of them are not consciously chosen. Most of them are just repetitive, unconscious. They've been gotten into a groove, a deep, deep groove. And a lot of them are negative. So if they're negative and repetitive,
Yeah.
then they become very, very powerful. But the beautiful thing is, because they're repetitive, if you can just substitute a positive one in there, that becomes the repetitive and the default and the automatic. So I work with people to identify their negative self-talk, then rewrite it. So we're very word playing with words, finding just the ones that resonate with you, because that's where the juice is, like when it's like, that's the right word. And then to say them to yourselves in the times when your brain is more receptive to new input, which is that liminal space between waking and sleeping. So it's similar, the brain waves are similar to like a hypnotic state in that moment. So really before you go to sleep, you lay down in bed, you're in the dark, your phone is away, it's just you and your thoughts. That's a time to repeat to yourself those, I call them mantras, or just your new self-loving beliefs, your self-talk. Repeat them to yourselves then. And then also in the morning when you wake up, before you turn on the light, before you grab your phone, you're still like a little dozy. Your brain is receptive. Say it to yourself then. And it is work. And that's why you need to be motivated, I believe, to do this and have some devotion. You already are building, you have some self-love. If you're willing to do this work, you already love yourself and you're just wanting to deepen that. Yeah.
Can you give us your mantras in the morning and the night?
I would love to. And again, these are very custom and personal to me. And these are very fundamental, just basic ones. So anyways, they are, I create my own reality. I treat myself as well as I treat others. I speak out loud my needs, desires, and preferences.
Yeah.
I speak and uphold my boundaries. I don't seek or cling to validation.
Ooh.
I act and behave in accordance with my values, and how other people feel about that is not my responsibility.
Wow.
And two more. I trust my inner knowing. And I am unique and special and not like anybody else. It's okay to be fabulous. It's okay to be adored. It's okay to be the center of attention.
Oh my god, I love it. Best way to wake up ever.
Yes, yes, yes. And those are all things that have been edges for me that I needed to tell myself and then act on and then take action. And like, if that's true, what does that look like?
Can you say the last one?
Love this one. I am unique and special and unlike anybody else. It's okay to be fabulous. It's okay to be adored. It's okay to be the center of attention.
Mm. Let that land. Wow.
Yeah, because I used to A, hate being the center of attention, but B, because I had this story that it was hurting somebody else, that it was like taking away from them. And that was a hard one. And that comes from sisterhood wound and like, feeling that I needed to always cede attention to my sister and that it would hurt her if I was receiving attention. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But then, and that's still honestly a big edge for me. It's still what I'm growing into. But yeah, just learning that it's okay to take up space and receive. And if someone's drawn to give you attention, or if someone wants to give you a platform like today to be able to speak and share my message, like that is a blessing. And like I'm worthy of that, and it's not hurting anybody. So yeah, that's what that one is about. It's a tender one for me, that one.
It's really good.
No.
Wow.
Mm.
Oh, Erin, thank you, thank you, thank you. Are there any final thoughts that we could bless this beautiful audience with that you'd like to share?
Well, I would like to share that worthiness is what so much of this work comes down to. I find that to be the common thread in people I work with. And that's just such a deep, deep one. And while I love words, they do have limitations. And worthiness is one of those cases where like the word doesn't like quite capture it, I think, because it feels transactional.
Right.
Like I'm worthy of X if I do Y.
Right.
And like, it's like, okay, but if I don't have that, then I must not be worthy. I didn't earn it. And worthiness is not, in this context, is not about earning. It's about this inherent thing. So actually I do have a mantra for that, and I'll leave that as a final offering. So the mantra that is helping me and some of my clients with worthiness is my unique existence is worthy of being fully expressed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a miracle so improbable of my existence in the first place that who am I with my ego and my fears to get in the way of that? So I'm the custodian of this unique essence that miraculously came into existence. And it is inherently worthy of just being fully expressed. And so now I, as the vessel and the ego carrying it, get to choose whether I'm going to let it express or not. But it is worthy.
Yeah.
Of just expressing whatever that is.
You're here.
Yeah.
Of course you're worthy. It's true. Right? It's a funny thing that we don't grasp right away. But like, there isn't a single other person on the planet like you.
Mm-hmm.
Like with every right or left turn you have made has created a different version of you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every single, you're like a collection of not only everything you've experienced in your lifetime here, but everything your ancestors did and their past lives and all the different contributions. So your magical formation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how dare we block what wants to be expressed?
Yes, exactly.
This is the juice of being alive, is expression, right? And like our unique expression and imprints on this planet.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then my two corollaries to that are then if existence is worthy of expressing, then that means my voice is worthy of expressing and my dreams are worthy of pursuing. And it's the pursuit of the dream that is the embodiment of the worthiness. Again, it's not so much attachment to the outcome, but I do believe if you continuously pursue your dreams, good things are going to come.
Yeah.
But if you hold yourself back out of fear of failure, then those things, you don't give space for those things to happen. But if you just pursue your dreams because they're just worthy of being pursued, no matter how like unique or odd or ambitious or micro they are, like it's just this like connection with your unique essence to pursue your dream and then get out of the way and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a simple formula. For me, it's like follow your bliss. What lights you up? What are you curious about? What do you want to learn? Right? What do you want to explore and right and go deep down that rabbit hole? And then it leads you to the next thing.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be this like kids get out of college, they're like, what am I gonna pick for the rest of my life? You're like, probably not gonna be the reality anymore.
Yeah.
Like, most people don't have jobs for 50 years anymore.
Yeah.
Like what are you curious about right now?
Right. And then go.
And go. Follow it. Follow the intuition.
Yeah.
That's another thing I have my clients do all the time. I'm sure you do the same. Like just tune in. And my favorite question is, show me how I can support today. Show me who I can love today. And as it was taught to me once that I believe I have two angels. They're in the top left corner of my visual when I close my eyes. And I was told that angels can't intervene. They need to be given an assignment. So I give my angels an assignment in the morning sometimes. And I was like, all right, show me who needs to be loved today.
Oh.
And it's shocking how quickly I'll hear, call Erin,
Oh.
right? Or I get a ding.
I know you're right. I get a text as that person needs to be called. They feel love today. So like, oh, your angels are listening.
Literally, it's that. Thank you for the demo. Right? Literally that fast. I'll get a thing. This one needs support. It's mind blowing, especially after a cleanse. By the way, when I clean my body and I become this clean tuning fork, it is instant. The wisdom comes through. And I become this really clear channel to get the guidance, to hear the intuition, to tune into my body, get a clear signal. And yeah, I get to like shower someone with love.
Yeah. Beautiful.
By the way, a random side note, but see how it says self?
Yeah.
Self-love makes you shine brighter. It's actually a tattoo on my body.
Wow. You're speaking to the OG of self-love. Yes.
This is one of my main lessons in life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I wanted to say one more thing about Sleaze Love.
Yeah. Tell me.
Which I want to say that it's for everybody, which by that I mean men and women.
Yes.
I think it's coded a little bit for women.
Right.
And there's probably a reason for that made sense at the time. And I also just want to reclaim it for men, that men are equally deserving and needing of self-love. And I love that when I started my program of coaching, my first 5 clients were all men.
Yeah.
And that wasn't by design. That's just what happened. And I absolutely love that. And so I just want to say that men are welcome in my program or wherever they feel called to build self-love. And it only makes the whole world a better place. Like, they deserve it, just period, full stop. And it will make the lives of the women in their lives only better as well.
In what area are men lacking in the self-love department?
So I think, well, worthiness is the one that it always comes down to.
Based on achievement, not having achieved it.
Exactly.
They're defined by achievement.
Yeah. So I really work with people who are very, who are ambitious.
Yeah.
And then one of two things happens. Either they've already accomplished a lot, and yet they don't feel the satisfaction and fulfillment they thought they would feel. So they keep chasing. And what's missing is that self-love and that worthiness.
Got it.
So they're already very accomplished, but they're like, I don't feel the way I thought I would.
Yeah.
Or there's people who are ambitious, but they haven't yet unleashed their gifts into the world. They're holding themselves back. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of trying, or afraid of showing themselves. So they are not believing that they're worthy of pursuing their dream, regardless of the outcome. So they have in common that they're ambitious, they have goals, they want to do something. And there's the ones who've done it and they're like, why is this not enough? And they're the ones who are like, I'm scared to even try. So that's what they have in common.
And is the next step in that journey of your coaching with them is kind of to see that story and how it's untrue and shift the unworthiness?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I start with the self-talk because that is what worked for me. Like, I'm very much really guiding people. I'm offering them what worked for me. And then the next step is like, once we get the self-talk going and the mantras and the new decisions and the new stories,
right?
The next step is really, okay, now how are you going to own this? And I compare it to working out at the gym.
Yeah.
At least for me, like, I love working out, but if I do the same routine for like a year or two, then maybe I'm like kind of bored with that. But I'm not going to stop working out, right? I'm just going to find a new way to do it.
Yeah.
And so the mantras will get you so far, and I think they're a really great place to start. And then what I'm really excited about is then for them to co-create, okay, what's the next step? How do I keep self-love alive for me? And it could be Well, there's so many different modalities out there, right? Yeah, that resonate with different people, somatics and hypnosis and all kinds of breath work and all kinds of things.
What I'm not hearing you say, and I'm curious about, is do you need to go back into like the childhood trauma that originally, formed this sense or a story that you're not good enough, or does that need to be addressed, or have you seen results with just choosing a different story moving forward?
Mm. I think it's helpful to have some self-awareness and understand where these beliefs came from.
Yeah.
And I do tell people, like, I believe in talk therapy a lot. It definitely helped me a lot. And I'm not a therapist, and I don't think I'm a substitute for therapy. So if someone wanted to really go deep into inner child work, I would certainly support it. And I don't think I would be the provider for it. I would tell them, like, for me, I did therapy and then all these other modalities in parallel.
Right.
And that is my recommendation to people, to do different modalities in parallel. And yeah, inner child work is huge for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I'm big on the somatic work, like you mentioned. Yeah. And that's getting it out of your body, right? These energies and these unprocessed emotions get locked in the body, especially if you're told not to cry, man up, right? Right. And so you're taught actually to disregard your emotions and to not express them. And so these modalities like breath work, breath work's my favorite, holotropic breath work, where you really get the opportunity to yell
Yeah.
in a powerful way.
Yeah.
It
Or a rage ceremony, or you can pound the pillows or pound your chest and just wail.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. If you're in a like space where you can't like just start yelling and you're in an apartment building or whatever, then a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
You can scream like a dying pterodactyl in a pillow. You really can, and nobody can hear it, and it works. I mean, I've gotten that rage out of my body.
Yeah.
And it's like it's depleting at first, and then you're like, oh God, I'm so light.
Yeah.
I feel so much lighter.
Yeah.
Like
For rage ceremonies, if anyone's interested, for me, I don't like the yelling so much. It just like, I feel like it strains my voice and it doesn't feel as good. But I love pounding like my chest or like the ground, like just either laying down on my stomach like this or on my back, either way. But yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So I've done the pounding and it was therapeutic, but for me, the screaming is better. And I growl is my new technique. So like when I was going through a really rough time in the last 2 years, I would walk on the trail, and sometimes there would be stretches where there's no one's there, and I just go, "Arr." All right, so I wouldn't yell, but and get it out and was like really ferocious. I didn't even do it full voice, but like. So it wasn't a yell, but it was still the energy was
I'm
able
going to explore that. Yeah, that's a good one.
it was interesting. And then my voice wasn't destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just a little nugget. There's different ways to express the rage and get it out. So it's your exploration to see and honor yourself. Like, yeah, but I felt like, oh, I'm doing this wrong, or this isn't for me because I don't love the yelling. Everyone else is yelling. But, that's a story.
Yeah.
Like, let me just be curious and find the way for me to move this through
Exactly.
without like being performative and feeling like I have to do it the way everyone else does it.
Yeah.
No.
Last final point I really actually want to touch on. We're getting close to our end time, but when it comes to men and expressing, because I feel like there's because they've been told to man up, right, and not express themselves. What do they need to hear, and or how can women support men in expressing themselves better?
Mm. Wow, that's a really good question. I think I'll just speak for what works for me.
Yeah.
And that is really, gosh, I think partly is seeing their inner child and knowing that they are carrying a lot from all the things that they received as a child. And then also the pressure that the society puts on men to perform
Yeah.
in a certain way that doesn't give them space to mess up or to be emotional. So I don't know, I try to be just tender. And I think maybe that's one reason why men are comfortable working with me. But it's hard when you're in a partnership because you're like, okay, yeah, I can be tender, but I also need my partner to be strong and be things. And so I think, I don't know, maybe I honestly, Nikki, that's a hard one.
No, I think it boils down to creating a safe space, especially for your partner. Like creating a safe space that it's okay that we're in this phase, and that the woman actually strongly believes in the man's potential to like get us through it, or we work together as a team, but like not hiding when things are not going really well, because they need to like be in this performative role of like the provider and always have everything their shit together. And I think it's a matter of creating a safe space, really.
Yeah.
And that the man really knows that they will not be like defamed, or that right, their credibility will still remain intact.
Right. They're still masculine.
They're still masculine.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it is a question of balance. And then actually going back to beginning of our conversation, like the number of negative and the number of positive comments.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's very important to praise the person in your life. And it's really not even a gendered thing, but like the men in my personal relationship, like my words carry so much more weight than I realized at the beginning. And I didn't realize every little, to me, not very heavy negative comment, like he really cares about my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? He cares that my words are very powerful to him. So to just be aware of that and do praise the things that are wonderful that he's doing. And that, I think, makes space to also then have the more tender conversations where you want to call him forth to his higher self.
Yeah.
And not scold.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. It brings me back to Hormozi's, Alex Hormozi's wife, Layla, I think her name.
Yeah.
She at one point she said, I would live with you under a bridge if I had to, because they ran out completely, like went to zero financially. That literally gave him just the foundation, the like belief that he could, and they like took off. They like made $1 million the next week or something. Right. But it was just like she created such a level of like, I'm not going anywhere no matter what, because I believe in you. And he was able to take off.
Yeah, that's such an iconic part of their story.
Right?
Yeah, the foundation, the bedrock.
Right.
You don't have to have fear of abandonment.
Right. Huge.
Yeah.
Can you create that for yourself and then for your partner? And even for your team, right? If you're leading your staff, right? Like it's okay if you have an off day. If it's okay if like, you can't show up to work today. Like sometimes we've had that. They've had family issues and they had to take their kids to the hospital or and it's like, we're still here with you.
Yeah.
We get that life work happens.
Yeah.
If this is a pattern.
Yes. Exactly. And we have some talking, but even if it's a pattern and you want to have a difficult conversation, then you won't have the difficult conversation. Either that formula you gave about, this story that I'm creating is that you're not reliable or you're not committed.
Right.
Invite them into that conversation, call them forth.
Love it.
To be the better version.
Yeah.
Of themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so grateful for you.
Oh, Nikki, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so inspired by the leadership you are doing in our community with your business here with Conscious Kitchen.
Thank you.
And with Conscious Kitchen Radio. Yay. You're such a beacon, and thank you for letting me be part of it. I'm so grateful.
It's an honor and a blessing to have you in my life. Thank you. Yay. We'll put all the ways that people can find you in the show notes. Is there any specific program or anything coming up that you want to quickly tap on?
Yeah, well, starting in the new year in 2026, I'll be doing the Self-Love and Empowerment Program. It's an 8-week program, and it takes you through the inner work is the first half of it. And then because I am very practical and I believe in action, the second half of it is where we do take those new micro experiments in the world to like rewrite the stories and get real data about how this self-love really impacts your reality. And so that's going to be starting in January.
Perfect. Yay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.